Three, two, one. Hi Kiwi, and welcome back to a new episode of Hades 1. We are going to go for another 40 heat challenge, and this time I'm going to be taking the Achilles Spear and running probably my favorite build, or so I hope. We're going to go for a Demeter cast build. This is our heat setup. I am going to go for Extreme Measures 4, and I have Max Calisthenics program on. This is going to be pretty rough. I don't think I can feasibly do this with at least with max tight deadline. That's kind of just how it is all the time.
The pact is sealed.
Anyway, we're taking Demeter's Keepsake and hoping for a good Crystal Beam to start. Hopefully don't have to waste rerolls, but we will see. Come on, Demeter, give me something good.
You'll find that life gives way quite easily to cold, young sprout.
And we get awesome epic level Crystal Beam. That's going to help a lot. Realistically speaking, though, I'm going to be depending on base damage of the Achilles Spear for much of this early game, because the Crystal Beam really on its own does not do an impressive amount of damage. I might honestly argue for the Achilles Spear, it's a bit of a damage down overall, or a DPS down, because you can see, like, the Crystal Beam really has trouble tracking enemies. Even the slowest enemies, it still doesn't track very well. Alright, Chaos or Artemis. Ooh, this is a tough decision. I'm gonna go for Artemis because we need to lock her in and get Crystal Clarity as soon as possible. Crystal Clarity is really where the build starts to come together. Plus, if we can set up for an early Artemis Legendary, that's really important. We only have one cast right now, and that's also a big detriment to our DPS. Yes, Chaos is incredible because they can give us more casts, but Artemis I think is better to lock in earlier. Because we're not guaranteed to see her until Asphodel.
Looks to me like you could use a little help, so I'll just have a look in my big bag of blessings here, and oh, here's just the thing.
I don't know why, but I really enjoy that line. It's so funny to me. We probably take her attack here. I think that'll give us the best DPS increase overall, and it gives us at least something to help carry our damage while our Crystal Beam is falling a bit short. And it's a prerequisite for, oh gosh. It's a prerequisite for Crystal Clarity anyway, so I think it's easily the best option right now. Anyway, so let's talk about what our build path wants to be. The gods we want. Really, it's Demeter, it's Artemis, and it's Poseidon. The fourth god, I guess, would probably ideally be Athena for defense, but no, specifically her dash, of course.
Another hellfish.
But I might just take whatever I can get. Zeus doesn't really fit the build, so we'll take the coin here because we need Glacial Glare, and we need Palm levels on Glacial Glare for this build to work to its full potential. Also, I will address the fact that I ran a Crystal Beam build not too long, but that was a Crystal Embrace build for what it's worth, and it was meant to be just like a casual run. I want to see this build carry me through 40 heat. And I feel like this boon combination with the Achilles Spear can easily do that if played right. So we'll see. We will see. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. My dashes positioned me exactly on those traps 3 times. Oh my goodness. The first one was my fault, but my dashes. So the dash has a weird interaction with corners like that, where it will if it thinks you can get there, it will squeeze you way farther than you expect to travel. And well, that was just unfortunate. I chose the wrong direction, I suppose. Anyway, that's kind of the idea for today's build. We are going to hopefully get some good Demeter boons. Glacial Glare is objectively the most important, aside from Crystal Clarity, the duo with Artemis. But Killing Freeze is always good. Arctic Burst would be incredible, because once we have Glacial Glare, we're basically going to be popping Glacial Glare every 2 seconds, or not Glacial Glare, Arctic Burst every like 2 seconds, I think. And that's at least 100. That's at least 80 damage per 2 seconds. But then that's assuming we only have one Crystal Beam. Every Crystal Beam is basically going to double that DPS potential. So it just scales insanely well. I'm honestly surprised Sisyphus hit them there, but I'm not going to complain. Okay, Support Fire Support Fire is a prerequisite to her Legendary. We probably take this, or do I reroll? I'm going to reroll. Maybe Crystal Clarity. Nope, and now we don't even get a prerequisite, but Hunter's Mark. I'm not going to complain about Hunter's Mark. It will help us. Again, it will carry us through the early game, which is really important. I rerolled there because, I mean, if I could get an earlier Crystal Clarity, it would really help the build. But maybe I should have just accepted Support Fire. I feel like either way, we're probably going to get stuck selling it, so I may as well take... At least I got a good kind of... It will help me with the trash mobs until we get more casts, I suppose. We really are going to depend on either Artemis's Legendary or Chaos to give us that that is the one downside to this build. For it to scale its best potential, or scale to its fullest potential, we need to take, I think it's Infernal Soul rather than Stygian Soul. And while Stygian Soul gives you more upfront damage early, it doesn't scale nearly as well because you're kind of locked into having to pick up your cast stones at the end of everything, whereas Stygian, you just regenerate your cast over time, and that sets us up for some really good, beneficial Hermes boons as well. Auto reload is not really that impressive, but bad news is incredible, and it'll work really well with this build if we can get it. Anyway, I'm trying to think what else there is to say about this. I think that's kind of the extent of it. Mostly it's just playing super safe with the Achilles Spear, because the Achilles Spear base damage is pretty solid. It's just we are on calisthenics level, calisthenics program level 2, which makes things a little bit trickier. But just try and get our backstabs where we can. Constantly remember to toss out the special for that 150% enhanced damage on both cast and attack. That's why it's such a good weapon for basically everything except for special builds, and I guess call builds technically, but honestly, I would say Achilles Spear is hands down the best spear and hands down one of the best weapons in the game, period. Like, if I had to say what is the strongest weapon aspect, I honestly feel like it's Aspect of Zeus on the shield just because of how safe it is. It allows you to run higher heats so effectively, and it has some very strong builds. Granted, it's kind of most important to go Zeus on that, but you can definitely make a Dionysus, a Demeter, an Ares build work on it, I imagine. And its base damage on the special isn't terrible. It's just, it does better with fixed multi-hit damage, which is why Zeus is so good for him.
Good enough to eat.
All right, we're getting a lot of palm levels on the Crystal Beam early. I'm not going to complain about that. It's very diminishing returns because it's a like single point of damage.
Keep me going.
But that damage is multiplied by 5 per second, I think. So let's see. Hammers don't really do much for us, so I'm going to go, I think, Sisyphus here. Yeah. Now let's go the hammer. The hammer, the reason why I'm going hammer is there are some decent hammers for the Achilles Spear. Most importantly, like Flurry Jab and Triple Slash would be decent. I definitely don't want to take Serrated Fury if I can avoid it, just because that, or is it, I forget what it's called, but the serrated point, maybe, the one that reduces our dash distance. We want to be able to dash as long a distance as possible. Special enhancing hammers are kind of limited on Achilles, because again, you don't really want to build special on Achilles compared to its attack or its cast. But the hammer here, let's see, extending jab, I'd probably go that. 40% more damage to distant foes gives me more range. We'll take that, yeah. So my thought process on this is really just a matter of we need early game damage. We're not running up against tight deadline yet, but we're going to start having issues. Oh my goodness, we got Crystal Clarity already. That is incredible. And a 4th level on Crystal Beam. All right, we only have 1 Crystal Beam right now. Like I said, we are going to have to, since we already got Crystal Clarity, I guess we'll be forcing Poseidon on the next floor. To you too, Siphonie. Siphonie? To you too, Siphonie. Syphilis. No, that's Sisyphus. I mean, I think we've seen the title of Zappy Pappy versus Daddy Darkness. Like, I have just casually been thinking about really stupid nicknames for all the characters in this game, and they just come over time. Like, that has always been my way of interacting with other people. Like, my brain decides this is your nickname, and it will forever be your nickname that I use more often than your regular name. I mean, that's how Kiwi's name came to be. But thankfully she quite likes that nickname, as do I. I mean, the origin of that name was basically, I think, she started, so Kiwi's name is Kaylee. I think that has kind of been alluded to a number of times, especially if you watched my Set Beast playthrough. And basically she one day just, I think, called me like Jeffwee, like, you know, like baby talking, and I'm like, Kiwi. I'm like, that sounds like Kiwi. And then it just stuck.
Innocent.
It's that simple. It's her name, baby talked, sound kind of like Kiwi, and we kept it. And I mean, we kind of had a running gag where we were just naming all of our friends. I think, do I take Artemis or do I take Poseidon or do I take Athena? I think Poseidon, because Mirage Shot is going to be the single greatest boon we can get aside from Glacial Glare, which in typical fashion Demeter probably won't give us until Styx, because that's always how it goes. We sell probably Deadly Strike, because I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to go with Deadly Strike because we don't really need it anymore. We got our duo, although, oh no, we needed that for Mirage Shot. I'm stupid. I'm so dumb. Oh no, I should have sold Hunter's Mark. Hunter's Mark will give me more early game damage. Oh, and oh my goodness, a Chaos Gate. Okay, come on, Chaos. Give us a cast stone. We need these casts as much as possible. Oh, hey, Nyx.
Chaos and I have so much left to discuss.
All right, come on, please give me a cast stone.
My daughter was just in the midst of telling me the latest occurrences about your house.
I beat 45 heat, I beat 40 heat. Oh, and there we go, cast stone. I didn't even read the penalty. We'll deal with it. We'll take another palm for our beam, I guess, if we can get it. I mean, we only have like 2 palmable boons right now, so I guess that's pretty easy to do in hindsight. What I'm thinking about doing is, since we're locking in Poseidon, like the big, of course, Mirage Shot is our #1 thing, so we'll have to take maybe his dash. Honestly, if we could take his call would be amazing, because his call with Crystal Beam builds is just so funny. You drop all your beams and then you just start sliding around and enemies are just getting melted by your damage left and right. That's the dream. We'll see. I'll have to confirm that it is a prerequisite, but I might just take it anyway because it's so darn good for me. Like I said it in the last Crystal Beam run because we ended up getting it then as well. Poseidon's call is such a fun and honestly my favorite call, even if I don't think it's the strongest call. I think that unfortunately goes to Zeus for overall DPS potential, especially once you've got a stacked up Zeus build going. All right, well, I mean, there's not really much of a choice. We put it right on Crystal Beam. We're already at level 5 Crystal Beam, and there's a Eurydice. I could get an upgraded rarity on Crystal Beam here. I don't think I'd do that. I probably want to go Refreshing Nectar.
Go figure.
And increase the chances of getting like a high tier Glacial Glare. Alternatively, I go for Shot, but no, Eurydice is definitely the better option. All right, do I take Ambrosia Delight? Do I take Refreshing Nectar? I have to think on this one a little bit because there is, I mean, getting heroic laser beams would be pretty cool. Haha, get it? Like, and legitimately, we only have 2 boons that could hit: Hunter's Mark
You're
and
just in time, Your Royal Majesty. Cooked up something special just for you.
and the cast. I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
Enjoy.
Give me that heroic,
Ooh,
that
that's
heroic
good.
Crystal Beam and that epic tier Hunter's Mark. Sure, we'll take it. That's pretty darn good. We're gonna have pretty good base damage on the Crystal Beam. Like, let's see.
This isn't good.
I don't actually know what its base damage is, but it's, look at it melting the Mega Gorgon. I was gonna get hit there, so I framed out with Voldy. Definitely a waste. Didn't do any damage with it, but kept me from taking damage. I think. I hope. Unclear. On the bright side, we've only. Oh my goodness, I got melted. Look,
I can't do that right now.
I will say it, and I will say it again. This is hands down the mini boss that my brain just fails to function against for whatever reason. Are they gonna actually take 2 Death Defiances off me? I swear if they do, I'm gonna be very disappointed in myself. Like, I should not be taking this much damage. Oh my goodness. I think it's just, for some reason, oh my goodness, they actually took 2 Death Defiances off me. That is frustrating. All right, well, we can't get stoned anymore, which is half the battle. I think part of the issue is the Skull Crusher's damage frames come out faster than you think. It's like as he's falling.
How about we set you up here with some real water power, little Hades?
All right, give me your call or your, okay, no call. Could take his special because that'll push things away from us, and it has pretty solid base damage. I probably take that. Yeah, let's wait. Let's save our rerolls because there are more important rerolls. Oh, and we are not punished again. We got Athena as our 4th god. That's incredible because if we can get her dash, that's all the safety we need on this build to keep us alive while we're just wrecking face with everything else. Especially again if we do get Poseidon's call, like we will basically be untouchable once we have Glacial Glare and at least those 2 defensive boons. Because Glacial Glare is gonna slow things down by 40% with the chilled effect. The only downside is if we get, it may not be Arctic Burst. I think Arctic Burst is the one that affects your cast as you cast it out, not the making enemies explode with 10 stacks of chilled. I get those 2 mixed up consistently, and it's a little embarrassing, but it's fine. One day I'll get their name straight. But we want the one that makes enemies explode. Yeah, it clears the chilled stack, so they'll be fast again, but with how frequently the Crystal Beams are just going to be trained on them, they will always have some amount of chilled and make them that much more manageable to deal with. But like, genuinely, look at our DPS. We have 1 Crystal Beam and we are already melting enemies, and now we have 2.
I should go.
My support alone is not enough to see you through this, Zagreus, but it certainly shall help.
All right, Athena, what have you got for us? Your attack, your aid. Do I take your aid here, or do I take your attack for reflect? I mean, your calls. I want to save the call for Poseidon. I'm going to take the attack. We need some base damage too. I don't think I'm going to buy anything in the shop. The HP was tempting. Oh, Kiwi, I have to go that trial, don't I? Like, it's risky, but we've got decent time on tight deadline, and there are some really good things we could get. We don't have Refreshing Nectar from Eurydice. We went for the Crystal Meme instead of the Crystal Beam. That's fine.
Well done, my little sprout.
Let's see. Glacial Glare. There it is. Oh my goodness. We got Glacial Glare. Okay. That's 2 seconds extra duration.
What you have just done is tantamount to spitting in my face. Let me remind you then, the ocean can spit back.
Okay, I'll just open my mouth, prepare to spit.
That's that.
Okay, that's weird. Let's not talk about that. All right, so we've got 2 crystal beams now. The funny thing about these builds is I always like get used to like how many times I have to spam crystal beam for my cast, and then I forget I have another use of it. Maybe taking Poseidon Special was a little bit of a mistake because it does push enemies out of the crystal beam, but I didn't really have good options and I didn't want to waste a reroll, and we needed it as a prerequisite to his duo with Artemis, so I won't complain too much. What I will complain about is these wave crashers just like running away into the abyss. Like, unfortunately our crystal beams do not have infinite range, and if these guys are going to be bouncing away into the horizon, I'm going to have to track them down. And I don't know what it is about Poseidon's trials, but for some reason his punishment wave I just am so prone to running into. But this definitely is becoming a build where we just kite enemies around.
What can I say, nephew? Sometimes our tempers get the best of all of us. Your fortunate mind didn't get the best of you back there.
All right, I think best thing would be his call right now. Wave pounding, Ocean's Bounty. I guess more coin because we want to buy a lot of
Let's make some way.
bombs will work. Erebus for HP isn't worth it. Do I take the Hermes here? Hermes could set us up for some really good boons. Alternatively, we have all 3 gods that we want in the pool now, and Athena still hasn't given us her dash, so there's a reason. But I think Hermes because we really want bad news. We really want quick reload. If we get those 2 boons, we are set.
Well, good news is you got to me, but I can tell you hit a lot of bad news on the way. You stay alive, all right?
Hey, he set the thing. Okay, we're gonna get auto quick reload. No, we didn't get it. Do I take hyper sprint now? Let's
What else is
reroll.
there?
No luck. Okay, do I heal? I'm gonna take the evasion. We're gonna be just running around kiting things left and right, so I think the evasion just to reduce our damage taken, even if it's only a 10% damage reduction overall, is pretty solid.
Hiss once if you think you're going to lose.
And granted, it's not like exactly 10% damage reduction. It's 10% chance to not take damage when hit, which you could argue is a 10% damage reduction, but when all the enemies do different amounts of damage, it's hard to say how that actually adds up in the long run. Point being, it's a safety net. It's an additional damage reduction, sort of. It gives us extra survivability, which is probably all we need at this point. I mean, like, yeah, we only have 2 crystal beams, and we don't even have Mirage Shot, but I could probably kite Hades out with this build at this point. But my goodness, look at Lernie's HP. Look at his HP. We melted him. But that's what I mean. Like, these guys have 30% more HP and all the other enhancements that come with a 40 heat run, and we are still just melting their HP. That is the power of a level 5 heroic cast. I'm gonna try and heal here and just not lose my Death Defiance to Lernie if I can. Oh my goodness, it's a good. Oh, I think if I hadn't dropped that Sisyphus, I actually would have lost my Death Defiance there. We're 1 hit from death, so I do need to be extra careful and may need to pray for another Patroclus RNG. But we got him. Okay. So yeah, our DPS is insane, and it's only gonna get better if we get like 1 more. If we can get legendary from Artemis, insane. Another Chaos Gate, we re-roll that shit until we get a cast stone. All right, what do I take here? Am I satisfied? No, well, I forgot. Right, we didn't take Artemis as keepsake yet. We started with Demeter. All right, here's the moment. I don't need her attack. Oh, Death Defiance. Okay, I take that. Yeah. Okay, so I forgot that we started with Demeter's cast for some reason, or Demeter's keepsake. I forgot that I could take another Artemis, and we, like I said before, we need a whole lot of Artemis. If we want her legendary, we need at least 3 boons. 2 prerequisites in either support fire and pressure points, and then the legendary itself. Alternatively, we do need Mirage Shot, and we are actually we need a core boon from Artemis just to be able to get Mirage Shot. Frankly, the other 2 support boons, we don't need a core boon from Artemis, or the other tier. I don't know if I guess they're technically tier 1s because you can get them at any point. Oh, fun. The shielders do block our lasers, but that just means I set 1 in front and I set 1 behind. And also, oh my goodness, these guys. As far as not taking a hammer here, at this point, the hammer that we got helped us through the early game a little bit. Objectively speaking, maybe I should have taken the alternative, but let's see. 1 more level on Glacial Glare. Okay, now our cast lasts an extra 3 seconds. No need to... Okay. Oop, there's our Artemis. We're going for that. Yeah. The hammers at this point are superfluous. We have gotten to the bare minimum of what this build needs to be to function, and hammers won't benefit the cast any further, so I'd rather sit on what I've got. Oh, so as a rule of thumb, I've decided that unless absolutely necessary, when I take Extreme Measures 4, I leave Heightened Security off, and I'm very glad in this moment that I did not have it on, because I just hit it. I took 12 damage instead of like 60 there. Anyway, yeah, so I think, like, look at these crystal beams go. We've only got 2 of them.
Not yet.
But because of Glacial Glare, it's more like we have at least 6 at a time, I want to say. Definitely at least 4. Yeah, no, we can easily set up at least 4, or at least 6, rather. Although the first 2 start to despawn. Oh, there's a fish here. What? I thought I accepted Artemis's boon.
You're mine.
I was very thrown off by that. Well played, game. All right, Artemis. I guess I played myself, realistically speaking. Okay, pressure points. We take that as a prerequisite. Crit chance on the crystal beam since we're constantly hitting. And there's Poseidon. Good. Wait, I didn't take a core boon from Artemis. I can't get Mirage. I still can't get Mirage shot. Oh my goodness, Kiwi. I am horrendously misplaying this. Oh well, hindsight and what. But on the bright side, it did afford us an epic tier hunter's mark because we managed to keep it. And now that we have pressure points, even if it's a 2% chance to crit, we are hitting, each crystal beam is hitting 5 times a second.
More.
And we have at least 2, if not 6, out on the field at a time. We are going to be, you know what? We need a God Call. Just think about it. All those hits, those will fill our God gauge as well, which would be insane. Again, we get, is this Wraith or, okay, there he goes. He was like safe spotting in the wall and I couldn't hit him. Of course he recovers because I couldn't hit him, but like I couldn't hit him with my attacks or my beams. That was kind of annoying. Anyway, I just need to play it safe. I have walls to block all these projectiles. I don't have any defensive options from Athena, so I can't deflect them back, but as long as I don't go flying into things, I should be good. And honestly, like the crazy thing about Achilles Spear, not only does it give you all of this damage potential, you have iframes on the recall of the spear. Like when you dash to the spear, that is actually a dash with iframes on it. And so I effectively at all times have 3 dashes. I drop the special, I do my dashes, and then I call the special. Oh, there we go. Poseidon's 8. Alternatively, Razor Shoals, but no. Oh, and there's Demeter. Okay. Here's hoping for a good tier 2 off of Demeter, but we do have the bare minimum of what we need.
Your challenge is hereby accepted, short one.
All right, Asterius, I got bad news for you. You're going to have a real bad time. All right, everyone, watch his HP just melt. It's funny, too, because we're using ice, so he shouldn't... He's getting frozen, and now he's melting. But, like, look at that. We're up to... That train of crystal beams did 6,300 damage before he got out of it. It's so funny to watch that happen. And we're just going to do it again. And we have Poseidon's Call, so we can cheese out iframes left and right while the beams are just DPSing the heck out of the bull. It's... I'm going to save up Greater Call, and now he's just done. He's just going to be done. Goodbye, bull. I'm sorry. Well, that statue blocked our beams, so thank you for dashing into them, and there we go.
Stop.
That is what Hades is going to look like.
Well fought, Asterius.
Beams and water.
In the name of Hades.
And slippy sliding. And we get Nourish Soul, maybe, I guess I'll take. Or do I reroll here, right? I reroll, because we really want Arctic Burst if I can get it. I mean, her attack isn't bad. It's a good damage steroid. I'll just take Nourish Soul. That'll heal us up. Oh, we got Patroclus. Okay, do I? I probably still take the free Death Defiance.
Might I somehow assist you then?
All right, yeah, because I'm not really building around the attack, and since I didn't take Demeter's attack there, I think I just go Kiss of Styx, or do I take? Yeah, I can take Kiss of Styx. There's no question.
Anyway.
That is a 360 gold saver right there. Or actually, maybe we didn't have convenience. You know what? I left convenience fee off so I can afford boons. Ravenous Will isn't bad here. It's not my preferred option, but we'll take it. Do I fight Charon? It's pretty risky. He will 2-shot us, but I'm gonna do it.
Be here for me, right?
We want money for coin, or for palms and HP, and especially Demeter and Artemis boons. I need the money, and also I think we've got more than enough DPS on him. I just play it safe. Worst case scenario, I lose the Death Defiance that Patroclus just gave me, but I'm feeling pretty good about this. I just run away. I just keep as much distance from him as possible, dodge his projectiles. Would love to have had an Athena boon to reflect things, but like, there we go. He's already phased. And we're almost at full God Call. Or at Greater Call, rather. Like now we are. I probably try and save it for his next phase. Oh, oops. Okay, I panic popped. Oh, that's such a waste. This is such a waste. And now I won't have crystal beams built up for when he removes his shield. Man, he pulls that shield for a very long time. All right. Honestly, his projectiles are more of a threat as long as I don't get hit by them. Or I don't know. I think we got him. I think we got him really good here. Blazers should finish him. Just dodge, use my Poseidon Call for safety, and there we go.
No hard feelings, right?
No Death Defiance consumed against Charon, and my goodness, look at that damage we did. This build is feeling pretty darn good. I'd say at this point, really all we want is bad news if we can get it from Hermes, which we didn't get a precursor, so we're very unlikely to get that. And then of course, Mirage Shot. We get Mirage Shot, we are set. If we can get that Demeter tier 2 as well, that would be the icing on the cake. Or I guess actually, wait. That would be the frosting on the cake. I'm so sorry, Kiwi. Even Zagreus is like, I can't deal with this. But like, we've got a very strong build going, and like the funny thing is this is a relatively weak crystal beam build as far as I've had. Like I guess that's not true. The base damage is low. Or sorry, the base damage is high. Oh my goodness, critting with Poseidon Call and hitting 1k is always a treat. A treat for the eyes. Oh, Kiwi, another Chaos Gate. Oh my goodness, we could potentially get another Cast Stone. All right, Hermes, give us quick reload, come on. No luck. Do I reroll? I'm rerolling. I'm doing it.
More options.
Still no luck. Greatest reflex though? Like I said, many dashes, many fasts. Do I take the shop here or the hammer? No, we gotta go Chaos Gate. I'm gonna be super low on HP for the heroes. That's the one downside to this. But it's a Cast Stone, man. It's a potential Cast Stone. We risk it. We didn't get it. Do I reroll here? I think I do. Yeah, I definitely do. It's so worth it. Oh my goodness, we are never punished on this run. I mean, we have Heightened Security on now, but it's worth it. We take the shop here and hope for an Artemis Spoon or a Demeter or a Poseidon. But it's going to be... Oh, it's not Athena. I was going to say, but it's going to be Athena.
Sale price.
Ugh.
Always a pleasure, Charon.
None of these are good. None of these are prerequisites. But honestly, Hunter's Instinct, spamming up God Gauge with Poseidon's Call. And we got the random palm on the Crystal Beam. We are at level 6 heroic Crystal Beam now. Oh my goodness, this is a fun run, Kiwi. Blessed RNG. Blessed RNG.
As the king said, you will not leave Elysium except through us.
Do you guys feel like a cold breeze coming through? Must be the ocean waves. You guys are gonna have oh my goodness. You guys are gonna have a very bad time. But yeah, I have 3 dashes and a 4th dash with the Achilles call or recall. Like, look at this. I guess, and you know, never mind. I'm like, we did so much damage to the bull already, but that's simply because we already fought him. But like, once we get them to hold still, we're gonna train beams on them, and they are gonna melt. And on the bright side, I'm really not gonna be contending with traps, so that was a waste of a bully. Oh, I guess I'm using it for the HP if nothing else. But yeah, Bull's already halfway done. Achilles is slowed, which means he's gonna get melted by these as well. I just need, like, again, the entire point of this build is we just play super cheesy, kite them out, use Poseidon's Call for safety, and goodbye, Asterius. Let's go for a ride together, Theseus. Are you okay there, bud? Your pathing's having some struggles, I think. Fortunately, he wasn't slowed enough, so I couldn't completely keep the call on him, but like, I think once we have enough Crystal Beams, we are going to be gaining God Gauge so insanely quickly, it doesn't even matter. Like, we are going to generate God Gauge extremely quickly, especially once we get our next Cast Stone. But basically, all I'm gonna do, spam these crystals, enhanced by Achilles Spear, toss out Poseidon, and just watch his HP melt. Again, his shield does block the beams, but he can only block from so many sides, and Poseidon's Call doesn't give a crap. GG, no re. Heroes vanquished, not a single Death Defiance lost. Barely any HP left.
Thanks for believing in me, my good shade.
Read our good shade for some good RNG and sticks. We've got an extra 10 minutes, but Extreme Measures 4.
I shall stop you by my own hand if I must.
Probably take Acorn at this point.
The same as all the rest.
Or Bone Hour. Ooh, Bone Hourglass if we have a good shot. But I think Acorn just keeps me alive here. I'm gonna take it, yeah. And selling probably Hunter Instinct. I don't think that Nah, Poseidon's Call does more for us. That 10% dodge chance. Oh wait, hold on, Prometheus Stone. Oh my goodness. Thank you, game. I'm just gonna buy everything in the shop. Oh my goodness. Like, those are not... I should have taken Bone Hourglass. I should have taken Bone Hourglass, Kiwi. It would have lasted us to Hades. What a shame. Well, at least we get to see the dream of 4 casts. Who knows? The odds of us seeing Poseidon here for Mirage, or Artemis here for Mirage Shot is pretty low, especially without an Artemis core boon. It's unlikely to see Mirage Shot on this build, and that is entirely my fault. We do have a Poseidon in the shop. We have 2 palms as well, which would be good. I don't have any interest in the anvil. Oh, there's an Artemis. Okay, hear me out. We take the Artemis room. Let me confirm that we have prerequisites for this Mirage Shot. So, all right, Poseidon's Aid does work, but we already have a special. So, honestly, and there's no way we're gonna be able to get fully loaded. So I think what I'll do here is let's take these palms first and try and get them on as many boons as we can. Specifically Crystal Beam boons. So there's level 8 Crystal Beam and another level of Glacial Glare. That couldn't have gone any better. That's awesome. That is a lot of damage. Now let's go for the Artemis room, I think. Yeah, we'll go for Artemis. We'll try and get either her dash or ideally her attack. And that could mean that we could take the Poseidon boon and see Mirage Shot. We have no rerolls, so the odds aren't exactly in our favor, but we have a decent number of his boons at this point. And by decent number, I mean 3. Which is a reasonable reduction in his overall pool options. I mean, when you think about it, I think that's a reduction of like at least 20% probably of his overall boons that are offered.
Chaos is transformed.
All right, Kiwi, we've got 4 cast stones right now. I know we're not going to have those see Hades, but at least for the brief moment, we have something very silly to enjoy. And again, of course, Poseidon's Call just giving us endless iframes to just piss about while these guys are getting melted by our beams. This is objectively speaking one of my favorite builds in the game because it's just funny. I don't even know if it's like super strong or viable. It's just funny, and the best builds in Hades are the ones that you have the most fun running, right? Like, yeah, they perform well, but they're fun. And if you're having fun, then you're doing exactly what a game is meant to do. My goodness, you are spamming these projectiles, my lads. Please stop. Oh, that was so scary. I almost got crushed by those guillotines. Let's see. All right. Do we take the attack here? No questions. We have no prerequisites for her legendary. No way to get her legendary, even if we did. We take the attack. We save up a coin for that Poseidon boon, and we pray that we get Mirage Shot going into Hades. I'm gonna take the Athena boon here. I want her dash if I can get it. And maybe we'll get the 2-chamber stick so I don't have to fight a giant room of icky things. And even if I do, I have a bunch of Crystal Beams to do the work for me. And Poseidon's Call to carry afterwards. Okay, well, I mean, the funniest part about this is while these lasers don't pierce, they just stack on one enemy and their HP gets obliterated. 600 damage in under a second is pretty darn phenomenal. And it's damage that doesn't put me at risk. I am at range, I am safe, and I just am memeing on these guys. The Crystal Meme is such a fun build. And again, I know I did this build, I did a Crystal Beam build not too very long ago, but this is Crystal Beam versus 40 Heat. Let me have this. Let me have the build that I didn't get on that run. Like, we wanted Crystal Clarity, we got Crystal Embrace, and like, I humored it because I'm like, okay, it extends the duration of your Crystal Beam, which on its own is pretty funny. But like, I think I've made it very clear, Crystal Embrace is just hard to use, right? And there are not a lot of weapons that benefit from it the way that Crystal Clarity works on literally every weapon. It just works even better on Achilles because of the 150% damage increase on a level 8 heroic Crystal Beam. I mean, like, obviously that is just sheer serendipity that it played out that way, but I'm not complaining. And again, just spam Poseidon's Call to get out of jail free card every time you're at risk of being hit. These snake stones do seem to really like hanging out of bounds, but if I just kite them a little further to the right, they're fine. Let's see, Divine Dash or Sure Footing. No, we don't have hide and security on. There's no point in taking Sure Footing here. All right, we have a dash. We are basically unkillable. Oh, Kiwi, I am so pleased. We got Mirage Shot. I am like, this is This is the run, Kiwi. We still have 2 Death Defiances, and I don't even know if I'm going to lose one against Hades. I will it's Extreme Measures 4, level 2 levels of Forced Overtime. I will very likely lose a Death Defiance. And honestly, I'm okay with that, because do you see this nonsense? We now have a minimum of 12 Crystal Beams on the field at all times if I get them fully stacked up. And it's not just that, it's the rate of God Gauge filling. This is such a good run, Kiwi. Oh my goodness, this is such a good run. All right. And like, look at this. This is like trivializing these rooms. They aren't even a threat anymore. All right, the question is, what is going to be our Styx RNG? We've got 7 minutes on the clock. I feel pretty good. I feel like it's fairly likely that we will get what we need. But let's see. Do we get it? Nope. All right. Poor Styx RNG. Mostly, I'm just worried about running out of time against Hades. Realistically speaking, with this level of DPS, I think I need at least 4, if not 5 minutes for a safe run. To have a reasonable chance against tight deadline is more what I mean. And this is the reason why I just don't like taking Forced Overtime level 3, is because, one, I'm just a slower player by nature. Like, I can speedrun. I mean, I have some proof to that pudding with some pretty, like, intentionally fast runs going almost, like, I think my record was 10, or it was 11, just shy of 11 minutes. And that feels pretty incredible. Like, I feel very good about, like, my overall ability to run this game quickly. It's just, I don't like to do that. I like to chew the grass, I guess. Let's see. Unfortunately, nothing on Crystal Beam for our last palm, so I'll just toss that on Hunter's Mark. 72% crit chance sounds pretty busted. Let's go get that fish. I think I have time for it. Yeah, the odds of us getting a 5-chamber Styx is pretty low, and I'm going to assume that is the case, and go for that HP, and we'll hopefully not lose a Death Defiance in the process, because that's the one thing about the Crystal Beams is there is a little bit of setup, right? You have to upkeep the crystals. And so you're a sitting duck while you're spamming cast. But again, 3 dashes, Athena Dash, Poseidon Call, and the recall on the spear, we are laden with oops. That was gonna happen. It's a laser beam battle, actually. We're having a beam struggle right now. Like, there are just too many ways of me having iframes and get out of jail free cards. Doesn't matter though, I'm still gonna get hit by everything, aren't I? I do, unfortunately, I have to hope that another Well of Charon shows up, because I would absolutely love to get some more cast stones. It's unlikely. 3 is probably going to be what we're going into Hades with, and that's honestly, every cast stone more than doubles our damage. I don't actually think that's how that works, but never mind. The DPS just ramps up the more cast we have. I think that much is obvious. These are not fun rooms. I keep getting satyrs and snake stones, and they are just really good at, like, why is this the run where I do not get the giant vermin? Oh my goodness, 5-chamber Styx? That is a less than 2% chance of happening. Of course, we are having the most insane RNG run of our lives. And I guess it's all in fair trade, right? We get the 5-chamber Styx, the less than 2% chance of a 5-chamber Styx, but we have this kind of glacial crystal clarity beam build going. Oh well, I can't complain, and that's another 50 HP. So
down the chute.
Yeah, honestly, I think 1 Death Divine should be more than enough. Plus, we have this Athena boon that may give us another. It did not give us another. Do I take sure footing here? Probably my best option, but Proud Bearing. At least I can start with the Poseidon Call. I don't know. I don't know what's objectively better there. Okay, hey, look, finally, giant vermin that I can just completely cheese by kiting out, and they don't have any projectile potential that comes out ridiculously fast because of Forced Overtime. These poor rats never stood a chance, though. Like, look at that. And when the room ends and everything slows down, the beams just glow extra, and it just looks really funny. It just looks like the beams get wider and just... Oh my goodness. Like, the amount of Hunter's Mark damage that we're going to have too, because we're constantly going to be bouncing crits on enemies with this sort of build. Kiwi, I am having a great time. The only thing I'm not having a great time about is looking at our tight deadline. We have less than 4 minutes, most likely, to beat Hades on Extreme Measures 4, which is a little, to say the least, a little bit dicey.
Just the foul sack I need.
Pardon me. And the worst part is, like, we don't have anything else left to buy in the shop. I can't even afford the diamond, and the anvil would probably hurt us more than it would help us.
Hound of Hell accepts another satyr sack.
Like, if I get serrated dash or whatever it's called, I will have a really bad time. Like, I do not need dash range reduction. Yeah, there's no way I'm taking that. It's just a mistake. Let's go for it. All right, we're sending it, Kiwi. We've got 4 minutes on the clock, almost 4 minutes exactly. Can we beat Extreme Measures for Hades 40 heat with my favorite build in the game? My funniest favorite build in the game.
I'm back, Father.
I've come for you, Daddy Darkness.
Would that you cleaned your chambers with the same devotion you show getting to these heights.
All right, Hades, I'd like to introduce you to someone you know and love, your mother-in-law. Because we know every father's greatest weakness is their mother-in-law. Come out, wherever you are. Oh, okay, we didn't lose the shield there. We are down 1 evergreen acorn. You know what's gonna be awful is if he gives us the giant gemstones, the ones that like spawn an enemy every time they get hit, because we are gonna be hitting them rapidly. Granted, they hold still, so they will get melted down. Honestly, oh wow, the sneak just immediately took out our acorn. I really should have gone for Bone Hourglass here. Bone Hourglass would have made this fight, actually, honestly, even with Bone Hourglass, we had such terrible 6 RNG that those boons wouldn't have made it to Hades, unfortunately. But like, the odds of that happening were so low, and it may have changed the seed enough, like taking the keepsake differently. Probably not, but could you imagine? Like, imagine me having 4, like, how many casts are we up to right now? We've got 2, 3, 6. I'm gonna have to bail out in safety because we should be able to like just greater call him to death here, because of course we can. Like I said when we were up against Asterius was kind of the litmus test. So that's 3. That's 6. That's 9. Oh, of course you're gonna laser here. Lame. We could have gotten at least 9. We definitely could get at least 12, and that's times 2. That's at least 24. Oh my goodness, Kiwi. This is the dream run. This is like, he can't even do anything. Like, yeah, we get 1 shot. We lose a Death Defiance in 1 hit. But like, we have so many safety options, and he's slowed to oblivion. That's 12. So okay, I think our upper limit is probably 15. So 30 crystal beams versus 40 heat. Absolutely insane. And the best part is, we just toss out Poseidon's Call and he can't do anything. Right, I think we're safe. Okay, we're good. Oh my goodness, lasers. Oh my goodness, I got caught on the wall too with the call. All right, that was unideal. We still haven't lost the Death Defiance, but I think it's all but guaranteed we'll lose it. But I think this is a guaranteed win at this point. Like, there is no way Hades comes back from this, right? Phase 3 is tough. Phase 3 is terrifying. But I don't think he has enough in his arsenal to beat us with it. Not with our DPS potential and how slow he's gonna be. Oh, okay. Didn't have the iframes on that one. That was bad. That was bad. We have greater call. I'm using it.
Time to make a splash. Blasted.
Once again, laser fight here. We are having beam struggles left and right. I think we are out DPSing his heal. That is crazy. Oh my goodness, our DPS potential is insane. He can 2-shot us in theory, so we do not want to be within range of anything here. But I don't have to be. Like, this build is strong, the DPS is insane, the safety profile is there, and 1 call to end the day, and there we go. Our God Gauge fills up so fast with this many beams. There we go.
I shall see you back at home.
40 heat, Achilles spear cleared.
Blast.
That is 3 out of 6 weapon types cleared at 40 heat on the save file. Technically 4 if you count the shield. That is awesome.
Right now.
Like, there was a time in my life where I didn't even think 32 heat was possible, and now here we are with 4 40+ heat clears. Insane. Anyway, what are we gonna honor? We're gonna honor Aspect of Achilles. We have to honor our insane Crystal Beam and Mirror. Where am I going? My insane Crystal Beam, Mirage Shot for sure, Crystal Clarity, of course, and then probably, honestly, Poseidon's Call. Like, yeah, I could show off the Glacial Glare, but Poseidon's Aid made this build even better than it already was. But there you go, Kiwi. 40 heat, Achilles Spear. What an insane run. That was so much fun.
Once more, tenacious Zagreus achieves his lofty goal. And just as every time before, except with some sort of new twist of fate, perhaps, He goes a little distance, then he dies.
Oh, Zagreus. I do wish we had, like, we could at least occasionally visit Persephone's house outside of this black wall of text. I feel like they could have done something more with that. But I'm not going to complain too much. I love this game so much, Kiwi. And I'm glad I can have silly, stupid builds that just carry a run.
Whoa! Hey, you look like you could use some sleep.
Hey, no. I woke up early to record because I didn't have time to record all week.
I get so worried for you, Zagreus.
Yes, I need sleep. I'm a chronic insomniac. I know Hypnos, but don't call me out for it.
Good heart, lad. Keep listening to it.
Yeah, no, if you're listening to this episode, I have like 3 episodes stockpiled in advance.
I must attend to all this parchment work.
I used to have like 2 or 3 months of stockpiled videos.
Aid you in some way, my friend.
But the lack of time to record because of work adds up very quickly, it seems, unfortunately. So
That's too good a deal to pass
I'm
up.
going to do my best to
Fine job,
maintain
Thanatos.
I'm going to do my best to maintain a daily upload schedule as I've been doing, but there may have to be some gaps depending on... It's very dependent on how crazy my work schedule and my motivations are. I will admit I've been a little burnt out lately.
Current state.
There have been some rough days at work that were not really avoidable, just unfortunate circumstances and me having to contend with them. And I've got family stress going on in the background too, so you know how it is. Anyway, Kiwi, that's not for here today. We'll do a gauntlet run next. Anyway, Kiwi, I hope you've enjoyed watching. We're gonna do 40 Heat Gauntlet next. You watch. With all that said, I hope you've enjoyed watching, and if you're awake, I hope this is helping you fall asleep. If you're sleeping,
Poise is truly extraordinary.
I hope you're sleeping well. I love you,
Let me have it already, boyo. No holding back.
and I will see you in the next one for some more Hades fun. 40 Heat Fists next time. Look forward to it, Kiwi. We can do this. Yeah.